All right, class, for today's lesson, we are going to talk about dimensional analysis, tricky problems here, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing today. All right, so dimensional analysis, we're going to do a tricky problem. So tricky problem is when you have derived units getting involved, where you've got two units interacting that makes another unit. And in this case, we're going from one derived unit to another derived unit. So fantastic. Okay. What we were dealing with here is we were dealing with one unit changing over, and we're dealing with another unit changing over at the same time. So your meters cubed is going to become milliliters, and your pounds are going to become grams. Now, one of the key things for you to know here is milliliters. The definition of a milliliter is centimeters cubed. So we're basically going from meters cubed to centimeters cubed when we're going this way. Yes, I know. Take care. So what we have here is we have a problem where we're juggling two things at once. There's two ways you can do this. I have dubbed these 2-string and 1-string. We are going to do the 2-string method first. All right, so let's see. I'll have this one, I'll use orange. All right, so the first way I'm going to do this is 2-string. For 2-string, we're going to take those two pieces and we're going to treat them separately. We're not going to do it all at once. We're going to treat them as two little problems. So I'm going to take 2.31 pounds. I notice I give it some extra space. I times line, I bring pounds down. I change that to grams, which I can do because as the conversion paper says, 454 grams is equal to 1 pound. This is all I need for the top part, so that's good. You will notice that our grams will our pounds will cancel, and we're going to be left with grams, which is good. That's what we want. I punch this into my calculator. I do 2.13 times 454, and I get the following number. I get 1048.74. This is our raw number, and I highly recommend you do not round when you're doing this at the beginning. You'll see why later. Then I'm going to take a look at the next one. Now over here, this meters cubed, you may think that it's, it's got the whole, 2.31, but no, it doesn't. It uses whatever number's there, which is nothing. And if there's no number there, well, we treat this as a 1 because it's saying that it's 2.31 pounds is equal to 1 meters cubed. So that's going to be a 1. So my second thing for my 2-string is doing 1 meters cubed. Now, when I do this 1 meters cubed, I'm going to times line. I'm going to bring meters down. But I'm not going to just do it once. I'm going to bring meters down once, twice, 3 times. And the reason I'm going to do that is because there are 3 of them right there. That little 3 exponent means it is meter times meter times meter. So I need to take all of those meters and I need to change them over. So I'm going to take it as 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. And I'm going to do this all 3 times. 100 centimeters to a meter, 1 meter, 100 centimeters. Okay, as I do that, I get 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. I checked in my calculator. That's how that goes. Again, this is my raw number. I do not round it at this point. I check. 1 meter cancels 1 meter. Another meter cancels another meter. A third meter cancels a third meter. So yeah, I'm golden. I now have my centimeters cubed, which is a milliliter. I had to do that 3 times as a result. However, what do I do now? Well, you've got grams at the top and centimeters cubed or milliliters at the bottom. So now it's time to divide this sucker. The top number gets divided by the bottom number, and that should give you something that looks similar to an answer. Okay, and we'll do that one. Okay, so I'm going to take that, I'm going to divide that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. And a very, very small number. 0, 0, 1, 0, 4, 8, 7, 4. Now, I got to check my sig digs, and if I look at my sig digs, I've got 3 sig digs at the start. So that means I need 3 sig digs here at the end. So I'm going to sit there and do that. Let's see. 3 sig digs. Now look, I've got the first thing I've got, let me do that thing where it highlights. I've got a placeholder here, then another placeholder, then another placeholder. So none of those are significant, so I ignore them for now. This is my first significant digit, this one over here. So 1, 2, 3 significant digits. I'm going to then look at the fourth digit, which is this 8, and we're going to see that that 8 will indeed round up what was before. So 1, 2, 3 sig digs with the 8 rounding it up means that my final answer is 0.00 or placeholder, point placeholder, placeholder, 105 with the rounding, and this would be grams per milliliter or grams per centimeter cubed. I put a box around it because that tells me that I am done. And that is how you do a 2-string tricky problem. Now, since we're doing the same problem, it would imagine that the answer is going to be the same, and you'd be absolutely correct. So I'm going to sit here and erase a bunch of this stuff here. So I'm going to do this as a 1-string. Now, for a 1-string problem, what we are going to be dealing with is we are going to be doing both of those, both of what we just did at the same time. So I set it up like this. My start is going to have both numbers. It's going to have the 2.31 pounds that I started with here, and it's going to have the 1 milliliter that's over here. Oops, I did not mean to do that. That's okay. Now, so I now have that set up. I'm going to start by taking care of the pounds, just like last time. I'm going to bring the pounds down. I'm going to change it to grams. So I'm, dragging it down like I've done before. 1 pound is still equal to 4.54 grams. The new thing for 1-string is to cancel out the next piece. Instead of dragging down, I'm going to pull up. So instead of taking my unit down, like I've been doing, I'm going to be pulling my unit up. This way it will still cancel. So I'm going to take my meters, I'm going to drag it up. I'm going to do that once, twice, 3 times. And each time I'm going to change into centimeters so I can get my milliliters when the time comes. And as always, it's 100 centimeters per meter, 100 centimeters per meter, 100 centimeters per meter. 1, 2, 3 times because, as I said earlier, meters cubed is meter times meter times meter. Now, what's nice about this is I've got my meter cancels once, meter cancels twice, meter cancels 3 times, and I've got my pounds that are still canceling. So I'm going to be left with grams over centimeters cubed, which is a milliliter. And if you punch this all in your calculator, you do 2.13 times 454, divide by 100, divide by 100, divide by 100. For those of you who have your calculator, you get the exact same answer. So you may go, Mr. D, which one is better? I don't know. Whichever one's better for you. I use both of them. Sometimes I'll do 2-string, sometimes I'll do 1-string. 1-string is neater and has less writing. But it's also more confusing because you have to drag things down and pull things up. That bothers people, having to both drag down and pull up. 2-string is simpler, but it takes longer. I don't care which one you do. Just make sure you round at the very end, very last step. Do not over round. A lot of people who do 2-string tend to over round. Just round at the end. Now there's a lot of tricky practice that won't have like a cube or a square. Some of it will just be 1 unit above, 1 unit below. Okay, that's easier. But I wanted to take the time to show you what you have to do with a unit that is cubed or squared, which is also tricky. So there you go, tricky problems.